What if I told you losing weight was significantly easier than you've been led to believe? And no, I'm not going to pitch you some pay-to-win magic supplements or some workout plan that doctors will hate you finding. I'm talking about simple dieting, but not this top weight loss foods or best meal plans to burn fat. I want to give you a simple dieting blueprint that lets you build your own successful weight loss diet. One that lets you burn fat while still enjoying your favorite foods. This is the same blueprint I use to get down to 12% body fat, and it's the same one a client of mine used to drop 7 pounds in just 36 days. So let's get into part 1, tactical meals. I want you to imagine this graph as your life, and this line is your energy throughout the day. The red zone down the bottom represents your hunger and your junk food danger zone. One of the biggest problems most guys have when they try and lose weight is they skip important meals. Have you ever gone on a diet? You decide to skip breakfast, maybe have a small lunch, have a small dinner, and then it comes into that late night period and you find yourself on the couch with a bag of chips in your hand and a pack of chocolate. This is because throughout the day you haven't been fueling yourself with enough high quality food to keep your energy and willpower high. Come late at night, you're tired from a long day at work and you're starving from not eating enough food, and you've left yourself wide open for a junk food attack. So to solve this, we want to implement tactical meals. This is essentially 4 meals spaced out at tactical times throughout the day to ensure we don't drop into that red zone. But there's a specific reason we're choosing 4 meals. Firstly, it's going to help us hit all parts of the day. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a little late night snack. Secondly, it's going to help space out our protein intake throughout the day, which is important because protein is our satiating nutrient. Its job is to keep us fuller for longer. Just look at this 2005 study where researchers took 19 participants and tested how protein affects their appetite and weight loss. The 19 participants followed 3 consecutive diets. For the first 2 weeks, they ate a standard diet. Then for the following 2 weeks, they ate that same standard diet but doubled their protein. After the first 4 weeks, researchers then told the participants they could now eat whatever they wanted as long as they were still reaching that required protein intake. The results showed that even though the participants were free to eat whatever else they wanted, they ate on average 440 fewer calories. This resulted in the group on average losing 3.7 kgs in just 12 weeks. So this is why it's crucially important that if you want to stick to a weight loss diet and see tangible fat loss progress, you need to be having high protein meals spaced throughout the day that are going to keep you energized, satisfied, and fuller for longer. But it doesn't have to be a strict regime. The best diets are going to be the one that works for you. And if you're someone that doesn't really enjoy having breakfast and you'd prefer to push that out a little bit closer to lunch, then go for that. Or if you know you're going to get deeply engulfed in work throughout the midday and you just won't have the time to sit down for lunch, try having a bigger breakfast, maybe a smaller grab and go lunch, and push that closer to dinner. That way you can have 3 back-to-back meals later in the evening when you'd usually feel the hungriest. Ideally, we'd like to space our meals out evenly, but what's most important is that you're actually eating the meals that you've assigned yourself. Because throughout my time as a coach, one of the biggest signs that someone's going to slip up on their weight loss diet is people that skip meals entirely. I'll be the first to admit, I even find sitting down, preparing and eating a meal can sometimes feel like a bit of a chore. But from experience, it's this lazy eating that's the downfall for most weight loss stories. Most guys know what they need to eat for breakfast or lunch. They've got the ingredients, they've even got it prepared, but when it comes time, they're either just not hungry or they don't have the energy to actually commit to it, so they just skip it. Which means they're leaving themselves open for fast, convenient, and usually pretty expensive options to fill that void. So the fix I've found to work the best is what I call PC meals. So here's how it works. P obviously stands for, can you guess it? Protein, which before you do anything with your diet is the most important thing to figure out first. If you decide your protein source first, you can then build your meals around that specific food. Here's an example of my current diet. Protein powder is the protein source for breakfast, chicken is the protein source for lunch, oats is my protein source for dinner, and cheese is my protein source for a late night snack. Now the cool thing here is I can just have those 4 foundational foods and then build all of my meals around that. So if my source of protein for breakfast is a protein shake, then I could have that with a banana, I could have that with cereal, I could have that with some toast and spreads. If 200 grams of chicken is my protein source for lunch, then I could have that with rice and veggies. I could have that oven baked with some hot chips on the side, or even sliced up and tossed in a salad. Different meals, but the protein stays the same. And what makes this even better is you don't have to calculate all of your calories. You just have to calculate the protein source. So that's going to make it significantly easier. But we still run into the problem of potentially skipping meals due to just not having the energy or can't be bothered. So this is where we talk about the C in PC meals, which stands for convenience. We want our meals to be as easy as going into the cupboard and grabbing a packet of chips. And there's a few things we can do to achieve this. Firstly, look to buy instant option meals. If buying raw chicken breasts, slicing, seasoning, and cooking them is just too much effort, opt to buy pre-shredded chicken, or hell, even buy a whole cooked chicken and then just rip that apart and divide it into 4 meals. Toss that chicken in a salad mix and boom, there's an instant chicken salad. Or even better, take that chicken salad, chuck it in a couple slices of bread, and that's a chicken salad sandwich. Now we're getting creative. If you don't like eating much for breakfast, but still feel it's important to keep you out of that danger zone, grab a banana or 2 and a protein shake. And you can even eat that while driving to work. If you can have 3 out of your 4 meals as simple grab and go options, your weight loss diet is going to be significantly more successful. So instant option foods is a perfect solution, but can we make our meals even easier and more convenient? We can. Let me introduce you to some of my favorite kitchen helpers. Firstly, we've got the trusty blender, perfect for turning a meal that might take 15 minutes to cook and prepare into a 3-minute grab and go shake. Next is the old reliable rice cooker. The fact that you can just set and forget batched cooked rice is invaluable for making quick and easy filling meals. And finally, my personal favorite, the air fryer. No need to preheat the oven or cook anything on the pan anymore, because this thing cooks anything perfectly. It's amazing for any style of meat. So with our 4 easy to prepare meals that we've placed tactically throughout the day to keep us out of our red zone, we've built a solid foundation. But with all that being said, we're still missing one key part of this blueprint, and it's the missing piece: implementation. What can you do watching this video right now to make this diet a reality? Let's go through the steps. Firstly, you need to figure out your protein intake. This is done by simply calculating your body weight in pounds by 0.8. Yes, you can go higher than this and there might be some marginal benefits, but 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight is going to give you the most, if not all of the results you need without having to have 400 grams of chicken or a protein shake for every meal. So let's say for this example, our protein intake comes out to 140 grams per day. We now have to take that number, divide it by 4, and that's going to give us 35 grams of protein per meal. So for breakfast, the protein source I'm going to choose is protein powder, and I might supplement that with some Greek yogurt. For lunch, I might choose the cheese as my source of protein, and I might have that melted on some toast or with some slices of apple. Dinner is going to be 150 grams of chicken, and I'll have that with some rice and veggies. And finally, I'll do 150 grams of warm oats for a late night snack, and I'll have that with some nice chocolatey toppings. Keep in mind, you don't have to hit exactly 35 grams of protein per meal. You can be higher or lower by 5 grams. And it's as easy as that. I've now got 4 simple meals that are placed tactically throughout the day when I'm most hungry that are going to keep me energized and on track. But while dieting is the most important thing for weight loss, a good transformation also needs a bit of exercise. So if you want to learn the most important habits around exercising, I cover it in this video right here that you might want to check out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Cheers, gents.